Rizal, born in June 19, 1861, in Calamba, Laguna Province, was baptized on June 22, 1862 by Father Rufino Conantes. His full name is Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Riolando. Lieutenant General Jose Lemery was the Governor General of the Philippines at the time of Rizal's birth. Rizal's name holds significance. Jose was chosen by his mother, Protasio, from a Christian calendar. Mercado was adopted in 1731, meaning market in Spanish. Rizal means a field where wet sprouts again, and Alonso Riolando was from his mother's godmother. His parents was Francisco Mercado Rizal and Teodora Alonso Riolando. Francisco was born on May 11, 1880 in Binyan, Laguna, studied Latin and philosophy. He married Teodora on June 28, 1848. Teodora, born on November 9, 1827, educated at the College of Santa Rosa, died on August 16, 1911. The Rizal children include Saturnina, Pasiano, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Jose, the British Filipino hero, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and Soledad, each with their own stories and significant events in Rizal's Rizal's excelled in studies and wrestling. Daily life in Binyan, mass, lessons, orchard visits, meals, and play with cousins. Rizal's achievements: first poem at 8, first play stage in Calamba, mastery of magic tricks, and early artistic talents.
In academic studies, Jose beat all the Binyan boys. He surpassed them all in the Spanish, Latin, and other subjects. Before the Christmas season 1870, Jose received a letter from his sister Saturnina, informing him of the arrival of the steamer Talim, which from Binyan to Calamba. Before June 1872, tragedy struck the Rizal family. Doña Teodora was suddenly arrested on the malicious charge that she and her brother, Jose Alberto, tried to poison the latter's perfidious wife. June 10, 1872, and his mother still in prison. Jose Rizal was accompanied by his brother Pasiano as they went to Manila to take the entrance examination at College of San Juan de Letrán. He passed the exam and was ready to study there, but his father decided that instead of sending his son to Letran, he wanted Rizal to enter the Ateneo de Manila. During his time in Manila, in his first and second year at Ateneo, he would occasionally visit his mother in the provincial prison. He would share with his mother his story he had inside the college. After his graduation, Rizal met Segunda Katigba. His first love for her was what many would call love at first sight. But Segunda was engaged with Manuel Ruiz, Jose's first tragic romance. But through the tragedy, Rizal became wiser in the path of love. Chapter 5. After his graduation and first tragedy in love, Rizal wanted to pursue higher learning. Rizal took the course of philosophy and letters at UST because his father liked it and he was still unsure what career he would pursue. There was a time where Rizal was a victim of Spanish brutality. Rizal decided to study abroad. First time in his life, Rizal did not ask for his parents' permission and blessings because he knew that they will not allow him.
So much sufferings.
Chapter 6 to 8. Rizal's secret mission is the secret mission was to conserve the approval of his brother Russian, to observe keenly the life and culture, language, and customs in the street, focus on government, and thus
So let's proceed to the next topic. In Hong Kong and Macau, 1888. So Rizal left Manila for Hong Kong on the board Zafiro. Right after that, Rizal visited Macau and accompanied by Jose Maria Basa. During his 2-day temporary stay in Macau, he visited churches and cathedral. Just like Rizal, he is a religious person. He visited a lot of churches, even in other countries, and he is an example of a religious person. Following on February 2022, 1888, Rizal left Hong Kong and his destination was Japan. One of Rizal's traits whenever he traveled was his hospitality, and many people were impressed him by his hospitality, and that's the reason why they respected him. So moving on to the next topic is Romantic Interlude in Japan, 1888. One of the happiest interludes in the life of Rizal was his temporary stay in the land of the cherry blossoms for 1 month and a half. Moreover, he fell in love with a Japanese girl whose loveliness infused joy and romance in his sorrowing heart. Let us always remember that when it comes in love, we cannot escape our feelings for someone, and love is always the choice. As Rizal romanced with Osishan, Rizal saw a pretty Japanese girl walking post delegation gate. Being a man with an eye for feminine beauty, he was attracted by her regal loveliness and charm. That's why we should not suppress our feelings for someone, since just like Rizal, he is an attractive, intelligent, and have a unique traits. On April 13, 1888, Rizal left Japan with a heavy heart, for he knew that he would never again see this beautiful land of cherry blossoms and beloved Osishan. So let's proceed to the next topic, Rizal's visit to the United States, 1888. Rizal first saw America on April 28, 1888, and Rizal stayed in San Francisco for 2 days. And on May 6, 1888, Rizal left San Francisco for Oakland. In Oakland, he boarded the train for his trip across the continent. On May 13, Rizal reached New York and he stayed 3 days in the city. And Rizal had good and bad impressions of the United States. As Rizal said when he was asked about his impression of America, America is a land of excellence, of freedom, but only for the whites.
In chapter 16 of Rizal's life, during his Biarritz vacation in 1891, the focus shifts to his romantic involvement with Nellie Boston. Rizal's stay in Biarritz marked a period of respite and leisure, offering him a break from his socio-political endeavors. During this time, he developed a close friendship with Nellie Boston, an English woman of French descent. While their relationship was marked by mutual admiration and affection, it remained platonic. Despite the romantic undertones, Rizal maintained his commitment to his advocacy and responsibilities. This chapter underscores the multifaceted nature of Rizal's life, balancing personal relationships with his unwavering dedication to the Philippines cause. Chapter 17 of Rizal's life, titled Misfortunes in Madrid 1890 to 1891. Rizal encountered financial hardships, making it challenging for him to sustain his studios and advocacy work. The demanding nature of his academic pursuits combined with financial stress took a toll on Rizal's health, leading to bouts of illness and fatigue. Rizal faced academic hurdles, especially in completing his coursework. Balancing his studies with the pressure of nationalistic responsibilities proved to be a formidable task. The chapter may touch upon personal losses of setbacks that Rizal experienced during this time, adding to the emotional and psychological strain he faced. Rizal continued to grapple with political pressures and opposition to his reformist ideas, both from within the Filipino community and external forces. In chapter 18 of Rizal's life, he returns to the Philippines, concluding his European journey. Notably, the chapter focuses on his Biarritz vacation in 1891 and his platonic romance with Nellie Boston. Rizal's stay in Biarritz provides a respite from his socio-political endeavors, and his relationship with Nellie, an English-French woman, develops with mutual admiration. Despite the romantic undertones, their connection remains platonic, emphasizing Rizal's commitment to his advocacy. This chapter underscores the complexity of Rizal's life, balancing personal relationships with his steadfast dedication to the Philippine cause.
In Chapter 19 of El Filibusterismo, Rizal's novel published in Ghent in 1891. The main highlights include Simon's failed attempt to incite a revolution using explosives. The chapter explores themes of power, corruption, and the consequences of seeking change through violence means. Simon's plans face obstacles, leading to a tense and dramatic turning point in the storyline. Chapter 20 of Rizal's life in Hong Kong during 1891 to 1892 as an ophthalmic surgeon involves his dedication to his medical profession. Highlights include Rizal's successful eye surgeries, his interactions with patients, and his commitment to improving healthcare. The chapter underscores Rizal's multifaceted skills and humanitarian efforts, showcasing a period of his life focused on healing and service.
But then, Jose Rizal pursued to Spain and left Singapore on September 8. One passenger told Rizal that he would be arrested by the order of Governor General Blanco and would be sent to jail in Quetta. He was shocked by the news and realized that he was being duped. But on September 30, he was officially notified by Captain Alemany. Then on October 3, Isla de Panay arrived at Barcelona with Rizal on board as a prisoner. He was then escorted to a prison fortress called Montjuic, and after he stayed there, he was transferred to a ship called Colon, and that ship left Barcelona on October 6 at exactly 8 p.m. On November 3, the Colon reached Manila. Then Rizal was transferred to Fort Santiago. And on November 20, the preliminary investigation began. He was presented with 15 documentary evidence. Then on December 26, it was the day of his trial. His trial was the proof of Spanish injustice and misrules. His case was prejudged. He was accused guilty before the actual trial. The court did not give him justice but accused and condemned him. After a short deliberation, the court-martial voted for death sentence. And on December 28, Pulevi Hija approved the decision of court-martial and ordered Rizal to be shot at 7 o'clock in the morning of December 30 at Bagong Bayan Field. December 29, 1896, Rizal was visited by his family and friends, including his beloved Josephine. He also finished his last poem and wrote a farewell letter for his best friend. Rizal bade goodbye to Josephine and gave his last gift, which is a religious book entitled Imitation of Christ. 6:30 a.m. of December 30, a trumpet sounded at Fort Santiago. Rizal was dressed in a black suit, black derby hat, black shoes, white shirt, and black tie. He requested to the firing commander that he wants to be shot facing the firing squad, but his request was denied. Unwillingly, Rizal turned his back to the firing squad and faced the sea. Above the drum beats, the sharp command fire was heard, and the guns of firing squad shoot Rizal. It was exactly 7:03 in the morning. Rizal fell on the ground dead, facing the morning sun. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is the life and works of Rizal, Chapter 23. Rizal anchored at Dumaguete. He visited some friends and former classmates. The España left Dumaguete at about 1 p.m. and reached Cebu the following morning. Rizal was fascinated by the entrance of Cebu. On August 3, Rizal left Cebu and continued to Iloilo, then sailed to Capiz and towards Romblon until proceeding to Manila. He missed the ship going to Spain, but on the midnight of the same day, he was able to right the Spanish cruiser Castilla. On September 2, Rizal was transferred to the steamer Isla de Panay, which was sailing for Barcelona, Spain. The next morning, the steamer left Manila Bay. The steamer arrived at Singapore in the evening of September 7. The passengers, including Rizal, went shopping and to see some scenery. Rizal observed that there were more Chinese merchants and less Indians. He bought a Chinese gown Don Pedro, and his son stayed at Singapore. He advised Rizal to stay behind too and take advantage of the protection of the British law. This is the chapter 24 of Dr. Jose Rizal Life and Work. Last Homecoming and Trial. In this chapter, Rizal returned to the Philippines in 1892 after spending several years in Europe, primarily in Spain. His return was prompted by the escalating political situation in the Philippines and his desire to advocate for reforms peacefully. Rizal returned to the Philippines on June 26, 1892. He was aware of the deteriorating conditions in the country and wished to promote social reforms through his writings and peaceful means. Founding of La Liga Filipina upon his return. Rizal founded La Liga Filipina, an organization advocating for Filipino unity, reforms within the framework of legal means. The Liga aimed to unite Filipinos regardless of social class to work for mutual aid and protection, promoting education, agricultural, and commerce. Unfortunately, Rizal's political activities drew suspicion from Spanish authorities. He was arrested on July 6, 1892 and later sent into exile to Dapitan, a remote town in Mindanao. Although confined to Dapitan, Rizal continued his intellectual pursuits, practicing medicine, engaging in farming, and contributing to various community development projects. Rizal's arrest led to a trial that culminated in a verdict of guilty for alleged subversion, among other charges. Despite his insistence of advocating peaceful reforms, the authorities considered his activities as a threat to Spanish rule. He was sentenced to exile in Dapitan rather than the imprisonment. Chapter 25 of Dr. Jose Rizal Life and Works. The Martyrdom. This chapter delves into the final moments leading to Rizal's execution, emphasizing his unwavering commitment to advocating for reforms and his ultimate sacrifice for the Filipino people's aspiration for independence and justice. After spending 4 years in exile in Dapitan, Rizal was allowed to leave for Cuba, as he had volunteered his medical services there during the Spanish-American War. However, Spanish authorities rerouted him to Manila, where tensions between Filipino nationalists and the Spanish government were escalating. Rizal arrived in Manila on June 26, 1896. His presence in the capital aroused suspicion among Spanish authorities, who saw him as a symbol of rebellion and a threat to the rule due to his previous involvement in reformist movements. On the same day as his arrival, Rizal was arrested by Spanish authorities. He was detained at Fort Santiago, where he was held captive while awaiting trial. Rizal was subjected to a trial by a court-martial, accused of conspiracy, rebellion, and sedition. Despite his plea of innocence and his advocacy for reforms through peaceful means, he was found guilty and sentenced to death. On the morning of December 30, 1896, at Bagumbayan, now Luneta Park in Manila, Jose Rizal was executed by firing squad. His execution stirred immense emotion among Filipinos, solidifying his status as a national hero and martyr for the country's quest of independence.